welcome back. 31 minutes now past the hour of 10 o'clock. We're at 82 degrees and shifting gears now, talking with Gila County District 1 Supervisor Steve Christensen. And Steve, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Randy. I'm doing well.
Well, and that's good to hear, because at times like this, with everything going on with these fire, I know this stuff kind of runs you guys ragged.
It does.
And I'm not going to bother asking you what you're doing in your spare time.
Yes. No, don't ask, because there is none.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
no, we are, I'm being very active. Many people are being very active
You bet.
in watching this.
And it's, a lot of people may not even stop to think about all of the logistics involved in just evacuating two communities. I mean, the communities of Pine and Strawberry, for the most part, are evacuated. Obviously, from everything I've heard, it sounds like a lot of the aerial attack on Saturday really did a tremendous amount of good towards ensuring that, or helping to ensure that the fire wouldn't spread into those communities.
Last couple of days have been good news with the direction the fire is moving. Right now, the fire's 33,000 acres, so it's growing, but
Well,
it's
that's
mainly
just
growing.
last night it was at 24,000, so it had some
so-
good growth last night.
Yeah, had good growth yesterday and last night, but
Wow.
what do you mean by good growth?
Yeah,
It grew.
really.
So it grew in a northerly direction mostly, and westward, but slightly south. They're trying to keep it out of Hardscrabble Canyon. They're trying to stop it on top of Dead Man's Mesa.
Right.
They're trying to stop it going up Fossil Creek anymore. It's still basically just under 2 miles from Strawberry. It's been that way for a couple of days now. I think that they're fairly successful with what they're doing, and they've cut a lot of dozer lines in. They've got water on those lines. They're prepared to do a backburn if that makes sense.
Right.
They're not doing it now because they feel it would possibly backfire on them. Not to use a pun, but
Sure.
they could be hard to handle a burn of that magnitude right now.
Right.
So
Yeah. One of the things that I've been hearing is that the conditions are so dry after last year's monsoon. We didn't really get much
Right.
in the way of rains. And I've heard some comparisons to, we're about at the kind of conditions that we had in 1990 when the Dude Fire happened. And you and I both remember, the catastrophe there with the Perryville crew and that kind of thing. And so it makes sense that, when things are that dry, you got to be real careful with the backburn operations.
You do. So they don't want to make the problem worse. So I've got a video on my Facebook page, posted it today, of them using that giant DC-10, and they're slurring on the Strawberry side of that dozer line. So they're preparing for a burn if they need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel very bad about the folks that have had to evacuate. There are quite a number that are still in the communities. They've decided to stay there. But if they leave, they're not going to be able to go back. So
Right.
it is a hard road closure. There is no going to Pine or Strawberry right now.
Now, and for folks that might not be aware of it, though, contrastingly, folks that live down, let's say, in the East Verde Park area, they are being allowed to go past the road closure in Payson just to get down to their homes. But again, nobody else being able to go
Right.
even north of the Houston Mesa Road right now.
That's correct. And Houston Mesa Road is open, by the way. The control road is open. All other roads are open. Highway 260 is open. The only thing that's closed is the west part of Highway 260, which goes into Camp Verde.
Right.
Okay, so if you're in Flowing Springs or East Verde Park, you can go back and forth.
Right. And again, Highway 87 from the north end of Payson all the way up to Clint Swell is closed as
Right.
well.
So you're not going to get flight staff that way if you're
Right.
wanting to go.
Got to go around I-17 or something.
Or go up to Heber and
Right.
make it that way. Mhm.
Okay, so obviously all part of what it takes to keep everybody safe, but this the wildfire thing is something that you've been around Payson for a number of years. This is something that we deal with every year, but again, this year seems to be just a little scary. It kind of does remind me of 1990 as far as how dry, and I haven't really seen a whole lot of that plume-dominated fire behavior, but there's still, I guess, I was hearing yesterday from up in the Camp Verde area, looking back at it, they were seeing a pretty significant, plume from down there. So I don't know, the whole thing's pretty spooky.
It is spooky, and it is something that we are living with. And I believe the Dude Fire started on June 29th, if I remember right. Or maybe it was the 25th.
I can't remember, sometime right around
Yes,
there.
but it was 31 years ago, and I remember it started in Dude Canyon, and it was a lightning strike.
Right.
And it moved swiftly across the rim. We did lose the Zangray cabin, and we lost basically Bonita Creek
Right.
as well.
That subdivision was, decimated.
It was decimated, and there was a few others. But I remember the evacuations. I remember all of the livestock, and this town really pulled together, and they're doing that now. One thing that has changed, though, is back then the community, they were baking bread, they were making pies, and
yeah.
they were taking them out to the camps. They don't allow that anymore. So if you're wanting to do something like that, that's not available any longer. They really regulate what food comes into their camps.
And if you've ever been at one of these fire camps, and I know we've been to several of them, I mean, these folks eat really good.
They do.
They're being fixed really good meals, and they need that to, keep.
They have a system in place. I mean, they set up a little city, basically. They're comfortable. They have showers. They have food as much as they want.
Right.
And so they're not uncomfortable. This is a regular thing they do every year, and they're very good at it.
One of the things that I've heard that is if you're really wanting to do something to show your appreciation for what all these firefighters are doing out there, and boy, it is hot, nasty conditions that they're working in, especially down in the bottom of some of those canyons. But some of the best thing that you can do is just put up a sign of thanks somewhere along a road
Right.
or something like that, and just let them know that we're thinking about them as they come and go.
They love that.
Yeah.
I saw they had some signs out by the roundabout where the Home Depot is. They had some signs right there I saw. And
Beautiful.
And so they really appreciate that. They don't need money. They don't need food. They don't need anything like that. They're very well equipped. And I want to say too, you're going to start seeing a lot more firefighters in Payson. It doesn't mean Payson's in danger. It just means they're setting up more equipment and more personnel from this side.
Yeah. And now a Type 1 incident management team took over on Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
And one of the things, if you've maybe not been around here that long or you don't know, the local folks here are basically kind of a Type 3 team. And then as a fire progresses, sometimes they'll call in a Type 2 team, which just has a few more resources at their disposal and some different protocols to help them kind of organize things to the next level. But this quickly went from a local thing right to a Type 1 incident management team, and they bring a whole bunch of resources. As I heard over the weekend, this is now the #1 wildfire concern in the United States.
Yep, highest priority fire
Right.
in the United States. So we have the resources.
And along with that, like you were saying, a lot of resources are going to be coming in, and you're going to see them
Yeah.
staging through Payson.
Yeah, I mean, this fire is only a few days old.
And we've had down on the Telegraph fire down in the Globe, Miami area, that had at its peak a little over 1,000 firefighters responding to that.
Exactly.
And I think people are going to see this ramping up quickly, whereas on Friday there might have been a couple of hundred at the most. I think that number is growing exponentially.
Yes, and so they make decisions based on the terrain, the weather, and all the different things on how they're going to fight the fire, where they're going to set up their control lines, where they're going to battle it, and they're doing that. The Type 1 incident team's the one you want. That's the #1. That's the people that are the most experienced and know what they're doing. They brought in air resources like I've never seen on any fire. There's about 11 aircraft working this fire right now.
And one of the things that I know we had in the KRIM and Tano TV news this morning is the fact that when it comes to these planes, a lot of this fire had to be fought from the air because of rough, steep, rocky terrain. But they were using scooper planes that were they could fly down right to the water level of Bartlett Lake, pick up water very quickly, and be back to the fire in just a couple of minutes. And that's been they've been keeping that running in a routine pretty regularly over the weekend.
Yep, there's 2 of those scoopers, and they are pulling water from Bartlett. They say it's about a 10-minute thing. I think that might be one direction. I don't know. So 20-minute turnaround is extremely good when you're when you can scoop up a bunch of water like they do.
And that's one of the reasons why your predecessor, Tommy Klein Martin. Sorry,
Yes,
sorry,
that's
Tommy.
it.
But at any rate, one of the reasons why she was so instrumental in putting together all of these dip locations all over Rim Country is so that the helicopters with the Bambi buckets could make quicker trips back and forth when any little fire would break out, and that makes a huge difference on this
Yep.
kind of stuff.
And those are still in place,
Yeah.
and they're being used, and that was forward thinking on her part. Very good.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So now, do we have any kind of conjecture yet as to if things look like they're going good as far as the communities of Pine and Strawberry? Is there been any rumor yet as to when they might be able to
No.
open the community back up again?
No rumor. I'm sorry to say I don't have that, but I think they're going to be working on the fire, and as soon as they feel it's safe to go back, they will let them go back. But they're not going to do it before it's safe. Okay, so I mean they're not. So anyway, I have no prediction on that. So I would just ask. I'm very compassionate toward the people that are displaced right now. Just hang in there is about all I can say. I am in constant contact with the firefighters, the sheriff's department, and everyone. And I just received a phone call from the district ranger, but I didn't
Right.
answer it because I'm right here. So I'll be talking with him here in a few minutes. But rest assured that the sheriff's department is patrolling the communities up there. There's no looting that's going on or predicted that I'm aware of at all. I just don't see that happening. And I have an optimistic view that the fire will not go into those communities. Of course, things can change, but I think it would be okay to be optimistic rather than pessimistic.
And I did see one social media post this morning from someone that did not evacuate that was saying, hey, there's a bunch of people coming around all the different properties, looking at all the properties. What's going on with that? And I had to reassure them that they're trying to do assessment work of
Yeah.
if the fire does spread, where what are they going to need to address first, and they're trying to get situational awareness on this. So it's good that they're up there, and anything that they're doing is all in an effort to protect everybody and everything up there.
Yes, and
So
the community themselves, they're looking out for themselves.
Right.
Those that are up there.
it's all good.
Yeah.
So what kind of I'm sure your office has been inundated with phone calls since this all happened. What are some of the most typical information requests that you're hearing right now?
Well, actually, today's pretty much the first day that the office has been open for phone calls that way. I have not received a lot of phone calls that way. I am on Facebook. I've been having people look at that. I'm trying to get my information out there, keep
Right.
people updated there. So if you want to know where that is, it's Supervisor Steve Christensen on Facebook.
Easy enough.
Okay, and then the Forest Service actually has a Facebook page too, and there's also news releases, press releases. There's going to be a meeting tonight at 5:30 at the high school auditorium. If you want to go to that meeting, it'll be a briefing.
And of course, they also put that out over social media, so
They do.
you can catch that at the
Right.
their incident site for again the Backbone Fire. If you just do a search on Facebook for Backbone Fire, you'll find their page, and then that gets shared out. We've been sharing those meetings out on KRIM's and Tano TV's Facebook pages as well, and pulling information from that for our newscast. And it's been kind of interesting too, because they've on a lot of these, there's been I know down on the Telegraph Fire, a lot of virtual meeting stuff where people in different locations are all online at the same time, but not necessarily always in the same building. And it's been kind of handy for some of these kinds of incidents.
Yeah. Just to kind of clear up something on the Facebook. Sometimes you get into the social media and there's false information out there.
Sometimes.
So you gotta really watch that. Yeah.
Usually
make
weekdays
sure-
and then on the weekends.
I've heard people say that there's fires breaking out all over, that Payson's about to be evacuated and all that. None of that's true. So where do you find the truth? Well, the town of Payson actually is doing a great job with trying to get information out. They are doing, it's not just on Facebook. If you're not a Facebook person, which I'm not either, I do have a Facebook page, but I'm not a Facebook
Right.
person. If you're not on Facebook, you can get the information through the town. Just call the town and say, do you have a press release? And they are going to have hard copies of those available.
Outstanding.
And they're going to try and put those around town. And I am meeting every day at 8 a.m. with the town of Payson. They have a meeting, and the town of Payson is doing a great job, and they're really handling the people that have been displaced quite well. If you have a trailer and you want to know where to park, you can park at Home Depot, Walmart. You can park out at the event center. You can park at the Houston Mesa campground if they have spaces. You can park at Star Vale trailer park. And so, and all of those are for free and have been offered. So,
And an evacuation center originally was set up at Rim Country Middle School in the gym, but that's been moved over to the Dome.
it's at the Dome, and there's approximately 20 people there. So it's not like there's a huge amount of people there, but the Red Cross is handling that.
And one of the other challenges too was that some folks may have had to evacuate with their dogs and cats and things. And the last word I heard is that that was still being handled and managed over at the Rim Country Middle School. That they were housing pets in there. The last report I heard, which was, I think that was Friday or Saturday.
Yes, the superintendent spoke with her this morning, and she's very compassionate about that. And so she's trying to accommodate pet owners in that. I'm not sure what limit she's able to do there at the middle school, because she doesn't want to separate pets from people.
Sure.
However, there are limits to what you can do there, and the Payson Humane Society is also another location that has agreed to take some pets. I don't know if you want to take your pet over there, but I don't even know how much room they have. If you have livestock, horses, anything like that, you can take those to the event center. Courtney with the town.
Courtney Spahn, yeah.
Spahn,
With
yes.
Town of Payson.
Courtney Spahn, yes. Thank you for that. And so she's handling that and doing a great job there.
Outstanding. So a lot of resources. You know what? I guess it's like anything in life. It comes down to what you choose to focus on. But at times like this, I mean, it can be scary if you're focused on the fire and stuff like that. But really, if you keep yourself informed, and we try to do our best to keep the information disseminated here on KRIM in a timely fashion. But really, when you look at everything that's going on, I think times like this really kind of reaffirm our faith in humanity as far as the way everybody comes together for the greater good, to help each other out. And there's a lot of people from Pine and Strawberry who are staying with friends and or relatives here in Payson, and as well as, again, all of these different places that have popped up where you can park your RV and camp for a while. And hopefully we'll get people being able to head back north home here soon.
That's what I've always loved about the Rim Country.
Good people.
Yep.
Yep. And present company excluded, of course.
Okay.
Anyway, Steve, keep up the good work and keep us posted on anything else that we need to know. And here's hoping and praying that we can all just get through this together quickly. And I think more than anything, prayers for our firefighters and the Type 1 incident management team and everyone that they're bringing in, because there's going to be some big numbers of people rolling in here to get this puppy wrapped up.
Right. I do want to mention, too, if you're not connected yet, the county has something available that will give you emergency notifications on the Ready, Set, Go situations, and that's gilaready.com, and then find Everbridge on there. So
Right.
Everbridge is the key word. You want to find that. If you give them your information, address, name, zip code, things like that, and phone number, then you will get notification on your phone of something that may be happening in your area.
I know last year at this time, we were evacuated down in Tonto Basin because of the bushfire that was in there. And I've been on that Everbridge for quite a while, and the updates and everything that were coming through were really good, focused, and helped us make some good decisions on where we needed
They
to
can focus on an area and send messages to you personally.
Right. But you got to sign up.
You do.
So go to readygila.com and look for Everbridge.
Yeah, it's actually, if you want to type it in, it's gilaready.com/Everbridge.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Just like that.
All right.
Excellent. And once again, Steve, thanks again. Let us know what else we can do to help.
Okay. Thank you, KRIM.
You bet. And thank you for listening this morning. Going to get you back to more of your favorite music. Have tunes coming up from Dr. Hook, South Garden, Rolling Stones, and more. Don't go away.
KRIM stickers are a great way to show
Thanks for that.
support of your
Did we cover everything you wanted to cover?
I think so. I mean, we had a little fire on the control road yesterday that got put out right away.
Really? Whereabouts?
2 miles west of Tono Village, right on the control road. Human caused. They kept it to an acre.
Wow, that's